the stream when it pops in. That would be great. Good morning, everybody. Just after 7 o'clock, we welcome you in live to another edition of Tee to Green. It's our first edition here in August. Yes, August 2nd, 2025. We appreciate you being with us here on WGR Sports Radio 550 and on our live video stream. You can check us out on any of our platforms at T2G Buffalo. We're live on X. We're live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube as well, as we are live at one of our home clubs this week here to start off August, Pendleton Creek Golf Club here in North Tonawanda. I'm Brian Colzio, along with PGA Pro Jeff Meadis, Jeff Blank, Kevin Sylvester, of course, part of our team, is down in Greensboro, North Carolina for the Wyndham Championship. We'll get to him coming up later on in the show. Jeff Meadis, we'll start with you. Good morning.
Good morning. A tiny bit autumnal out here, and the Bills are practicing. It's a little crisp in the morning, and I like this time of year. This is also typically club championship time of year, so people are going to be playing in a lot of important golf tournaments at their clubs coming up, and yeah, it's a fun time of year. Still a lot of golf left. We still got all of August, all of September, all of October, and most of November.
Yeah, we have our club championship here today at Pendleton Creek, and we're going to be talking about it with PGA Pro Dylan Hayes in just one moment. I have 8:36 this morning.
Yes, you get to start off
so
with a 4-iron, 220 yards off the first tee this morning, right?
Yes,
there. Yes.
What a start!
Yeah, you can handle it. Last time you stuffed it in there.
Yeah, we used to in years past here. We used to have front back alternating, so the back starts a little easier.
It's a wedge.
But one might be the hardest opening tee shot, in the fact that I'd rather hit like a driver at least. So, and then there's some room for error here. Got to go over water. It's not a comfortable start here when you're coming off of sitting doing radio for an hour.
I think it's an opportunity for a birdie right out of the box. Yeah, you can gain a couple strokes on everybody. You make a good score on that hole. Yeah, you're an athlete, Brian. You'll find a way.
That's right. Yes. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Jeff Blank, good morning.
Good morning.
A little crisp in the air here. You got your Tee to Green hoodie on.
I do, yeah. Jeff Meadis said autumnal, I think is the word you used. I just say cold.
Yeah.
It's cold. And by the way, if you're hitting a 4-iron, you might want to club up with this weather.
It's not that bad.
I'll be hitting a hybrid maybe.
You're hitting a hybrid.
And you're getting older. Pretty soon it'll be a 3-wood, and then it'll be a driver, and then you'll move up tees.
Yes. Thank you for the reminder on that. All right, coming up on the show, Kevin Sylvester, as I said, he's at the Wyndham Championship. It's a big week on the PGA Tour because it's the last week for some of these players, not only maybe in their regular season, but they're trying to get in to the FedEx Cup playoffs. Jeff Blank, the top 70 will move on next week to the first round at the St. Jude Classic down in Memphis.
Yeah, which is a change. Usually was the top 125. Now it's the top 70. So they're making some changes with the structure of the playoffs. So yeah,
couple names on the border that's going to be interesting to watch this week. And it does bring a little excitement to this event that otherwise wouldn't be there. Trying to squeeze into that playoff is important for a lot of these guys.
Yeah,
you just have one good week in the playoffs and you just keep going on and on.
Yep, LPGA, a big event.
British Women's Open.
The British Women's Open. So, and Lodi Wad's been getting a lot of attention.
Yes, she has. A nice way to start her career last week. And she was obviously, we knew who she was from the Augusta National Women's Amateur. She did a great job there. She looks like she's going to be a serious contender in the professional ranks.
Yep. So we'll go through all the tours, Champions Tour as well. We'll get our Western New York PGA tip of the week a little bit later on in the show. It's club championship day, Jeff, so everybody's got to play the ball as it lies. So we're going to talk about all different lies out there and how to handle those.
You can't fluff it today? Yeah, you can't give it.
I don't think so. We'll ask Dylan here in a moment.
Yeah, is that on the rule sheet?
Yeah.
If it's not, you can do it.
Yeah. And good question for you guys coming up here. We'll do it with Dylan too here. Marv Levy, our favorite Bills coach.
100.
He turns 100 this weekend. We're gonna have the question here. Well, we'll do it right now. Let's bring in Dylan Hayes. Dylan, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing?
How are we doing?
Doing good.
You're in a good mood. It's club championship.
Ready for the club championship. Kipping off the events as we go on the year, and ready to put the players at the test, see what they can do out there today.
All right, let's start with the trivia question. Why not here? Ready? So Marv Levy's turning 100. 100 is a magical number in golf. A lot of people try to break 100. So, according to Golf Digest, golfers who play more than one round a year. Okay. I mean, you have these people that, play one round a year in like their company tournament or,
in a scramble. Yeah.
Or maybe they don't even have their own clubs. But for golfers that play at least more than one round a year, this is according to Golf Digest, what is the percentage of golfers that break 100?
Lower than you think. I'm going to say it's about 70.
70%. What do you think, Jeff Blank?
I was going to say 45.
45. Dylan, what do you got?
We'll go in the middle. How about 60?
Okay. Dylan was the closest.
Let's go.
55%
Yep.
of golfers who play more than one round a year break 100. And it
That's
obviously
crazy.
says, this number can fluctuate depending upon course factors and difficulty and things like that. However, it said that they believe it's up to 80% at some point that all golfers that do play more than once a year will achieve the milestone of breaking 100 at some point in their lifetime.
All right, but that's
That
what
sound
I was
about right?
thinking. I misunderstood the question.
Yes. So anyway, breaking 100, yeah, 55%.
That sounds about, yeah, teach a lot, and you see, a lot of people, that's their goal. Hey, just, and it's nice to set goals, right? That's what makes it fun. And then the goal is to break 100, then the goal is to break 90,
exactly.
then 80, then 70. And the goal is to play well in the club championship. And so golf's a game for goal setting, and that's kind of what makes it fun. That's the pursuit of it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. In my lessons, teach a bunch of lessons here with a lot of some of them are beginner golfers, and it doesn't matter if you're trying to break par or you're trying to break 50 or whatever that goal is. But yeah, it's important to set goals, and when you achieve those goals, when you set your personal best, then you have a next goal that you want to shoot your next personal best. And it's just about, knocking off little goals at once at a time.
It's not a straight line, is it though?
No. And you got to have patience in this game. That's for sure.
Peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
Yep.
And no matter what your goal is going out, there is always that chance that it's going to go back up at some point. And sometimes even, Jeff, when people come to you for a lesson, or Dylan, people come for you for a lesson, sometimes making a change, people are hesitant because it might mean that their score might not go down instantly.
I understand when you say that, but I also don't buy into the you get worse before you get better kind of concept.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making a fundamental change that's going to help your fundamentals, and you give it a little bit of practice time and try to find a way to incorporate it, you're going to get better. You may not feel right in the beginning, but if the quality of your shot starts to improve, and then there's other things too. There's other factors in scoring. It's not just how you hit the ball or hit the driver or hit the first shot off the first tee. It's chipping and putting and how you manage yourself and how you manage a mental game and a million different factors. That's what's cool about golf.
Yeah, there is a small uncomfort level when you're trying to teach a new move to someone, whether that's turn and get all the way through, show me the bottom of the shoe, getting that lower body involved. You could definitely feel uncomfortable, but once they start getting that muscle memory, then it becomes a little bit more natural to them, and they grow as a player. It's good to see.
And you have to commit to it. And you have to understand why you're making the change and how that change is going to make you better.
Yep. No, I agree. And practicing, a lot of people might not practice as much as they should.
It is harder to go straight from a lesson out to the golf course, without hitting any balls. That might be a tough way. But you also, you're still playing the game too. So it's not just trying on the range, just hit the same shot all the time. You got to learn to be creative with it.
And also it's important, like during lessons, there's a lot of stuff that we're talking about, a lot of tips and suggestions. But when we're standing over the ball, we want simple swing thoughts. We don't want to be thinking about a bunch of different swing thoughts during that. Just simple swing thoughts. I like hit the center of the club face or just get all the way through. You don't want to be thinking about a lot of swing mechanics during that.
Tough to think and hit at the same time,
right?
Especially if you're me. Yeah.
And you always say too, a huge piece of when you're about to stand over the ball is confidence, right? You want it, and that's always something with me. You said no matter what club, what type of shot, like you have to take a confident swing. That's when I know when we're playing together, you always tell me that.
Yeah, I like the idea of hey, watch this, as opposed to hey, don't watch this. Watch me hit this shot. This is going to be a cool one. So I like when people have that kind. That's when you're playing good, and it's the chicken and egg theory. Confidence comes when you're playing good, or does confidence help you play good? But that's why routines are important, right? And what was the old Freddie Couples thing? His mindset before a shot was, I just visualized the best shot I ever hit in this situation. Well, that's a pretty positive mental image, and that's how you end up playing well.
Yep, and a great swing, of course, Freddie Couples has for a lot of people would love to have that swing. It's butter. We're live here at Pendleton Creek Golf Club to start off our August shows. Brian Coleshiel, PGA Pro, Jeff Meadus, Jeff Blank. And joining us here from Pendleton Creek Golf Club is head golf PGA Pro Dylan Hayes. Dylan, we just came off of here a month of junior camp, and I was fortunate to be able to help out with you guys this year again. Tell everybody about it, because I know for me, I always, when you tell me the numbers that sign up for the camp, the number of different levels of golfers, I'm always saying that what you and Don and the staff here does with junior golf and players that now go on to do other things with junior golf. I always am bragging of how good the junior program is here.
Yeah. So we are lucky enough to have you and your son, who actually went through the program. Now he's helping out, which is cool to see, and he's been a big help on a couple other days of the week as well. So it's good to see someone go through our junior program and get so involved with the game. But yeah, we have a golf 101 program and a players division, which is more of a 9-hole division where they get out on the golf course and play every week. But yeah, we had our junior club championship this past Wednesday, and we had about 75 kids out there running around and trying to show their skills off for their friends and their parents and the coaches. And it was a good celebration here. We had a nice award ceremony after. We put together a nice video for everyone, and yeah, the kids love it. We actually had a couple putt offs, which gets the blood going, and everyone's surrounding the green and everyone's rooting on their friends. So it's cool to see. I remember when I was younger doing little putt offs and chip offs in front of your friends and playing out on the junior club championship. It's good stuff because I went through this junior program here at the club, and now to be running it and to be giving back to the kids and letting them enjoy it. It's good to see.
How many kids did we have this year?
I think we had almost 80 kids this year. In the past, we have had about 100. So it's some years you have some down years, some years you have some big years, but still a really heavy crowd. And we are open to the public as far as the junior golf goes.
I was going to say, that's one thing I think that's great. It doesn't have to be just Pendleton members. That I know you open it up then to the public at some point, so that people that maybe don't belong to a club but they want their kin to get involved in the game, they can attend junior camp.
That's rare. Most private clubs don't allow that. You have to be a member's child or grandchild. And listening, the thing that jumps into my mind right away is fun. So every kid that came through just had fun.
Yeah, I try to emphasize that we're all out there having a good time, and even when I'm up there talking, I'm always trying to joke around, and I feel like the kids they realize that it's summertime. We got to wake up early. We got to get to the golf course. We don't have school right now, but we still got to get up. And then when they get there, they realize I'm with my friends. I'm on the golf course. It's a beautiful morning. We didn't have any rain issues. We didn't have any weather issues this year. Every Wednesday morning was beautiful. So the kids loved it. And now they're all begging to come back out with mom and dad or grandma or their buddies. When can we get back out? So it's great to see that. And hopefully we turn some of those junior golfers into future members one day. That's the ultimate goal. Or even in the golf business, some of these kids that fall in love with the game could stay in the golf business and grow the game, and that's what it's all about.
And Pendleton's one of the courses in the area. There's not a ton of them, but they have both a 13U and a 17U for PGA Junior League.
Yeah, we got the All-Stars coming up this week. That's at Glen Oak on Thursday, and got a few guys representing our squad. Our 13U, Jackson Dowling, really, really good young kid. And then our 17U, we have your son, Jack Koziel. He's one of our top players on our 17U team. Justin Mosier, and then Nick Moley is another kid representing Pendleton Creek this week. So proud of those guys, and hopefully they can go out there and represent Buffalo North and Pendleton Creek and put our name on the map.
Yeah, in the past a few times, the team has advanced to the state regional round to take on other area state teams, and then the goal to get to the national one.
Yeah, the national one's fun. Yeah, and there's another thing. Goal. We talked about goals and we talked about fun. Your son's been doing the PGA Junior League how long now?
Since maybe he's like 7.
Yeah. And how old is he? 15?
And now he's 15.
Yeah,
he loves it.
Yeah,
and he has played in other individual tournaments and the PGA Junior Tour, and like we know he did the International Junior Masters, but he still says he's like, I still want to do Junior League because that the fun word, because he said it's the most fun.
That's why I'm going to try run one indoors at the dojo, the multiple dojo locations this week. Just get kids together,
get them
have
together.
Fun,
exactly,
and the team aspect of it makes it great.
That's what the main thing is. I tell all the parents and the kids here. Every Wednesday we have a practice, and it's Wednesday night. That just came to an end this past week, but every Wednesday these kids get together and they go out there and play on the golf course, and they have so much fun out there. They all become a team. They all are playing their certain matches out there, and that's what it's all about. It's not about trying to grind over putts and win the match. It's about being out there with your buddies and having a good time. That's what I feel, and that's why we continue to grow here in our junior golf.
We are live here at Pendleton Creek Golf Club as we are with you 7 to 8 here on WGR, and on our live stream, we're on X, we're on Instagram and YouTube at T2G Buffalo. All right, want to talk a little bit about membership here, opportunities for people. Now, we mentioned the junior camp open to the public. The pub is also open to the public, and you can have an event. There's 3 different venues you can actually have an event at here.
We got a lot going on at the pub for sure. Yeah, we have our Long Acre cabin, and then we also have our patio, our upper patio, lower patio.
Yeah, if you're watching our stream, we're on the lower patio right now here. Good spot to be.
Yeah, so we got a lot going on, and it's just great to see the place flourish. I've been here for quite some time, and there's been some days where there hasn't been a lot of people in the pub, and now to see the parking lot full all the time, and to have the staff that just manages it all so well, it's really great to see the place pop and be successful, and the ownership, they've been nothing but supportive of whatever we got going on. They have our back, so the owners have been top notch. This is the 5th year now, and every year just see the place grow more and more. Our membership, we are full with a wait list, and that continues to grow every day. Every day we're getting inquiries about membership. So
how can they get on that list for next year, right? I mean, that's something to think about if those that want to join.
If you do want to, if you're interested in membership here at Pendleton Creek, Don Schneider, he's our membership director. Just shoot him an email, Don at Pendleton Creek. And he'd be happy to get you on the wait list, answer any questions you have about membership fees and stuff like that. But yeah, we are a healthy club. It is it's so nice to see, because I grew up here, and just this is home. This is home for me. So it's great to see the place flourish.
Wait list is a good sign. Yes, yeah, that means you're doing things right.
Absolutely.
We just put the email that Dylan just mentioned on the bottom screen here on our ticker. It's Don at pendletoncreek.com, or you can call 716-694-0366. But I've had a couple of meals in the pub this week. I
sneak down once in a while. I live very close, and I like to come in and grab some wings and a ice cold beer once in a blue moon.
Nice.
Dylan, you're going to be going to the Ryder Cup this year at Bethpage.
I am. Yeah, I just actually confirmed that a couple days ago, I think.
That's sweet.
Yeah, July 31st. I was like, I think I should probably figure out, how to confirm everything. And then it said, oh yeah, you got to pre-register by August 1st. And I was like, oh, okay. So I made sure I got that done. Me and my brother Austin Hayes, or Hub, some know him as Hub, we're gonna head out to Manhattan and take on the city to check out the Ryder Cup. So
beautiful.
Looking forward to that.
Not in Manhattan, you know that, right?
Well, we're staying in Manhattan. We're staying in Manhattan.
The big time.
I know, that's a tough commute from Manhattan to there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it ended up being Manhattan, but that was the connection we had, and someone said, "Oh, yeah,
easy train ride, right?
We got a place for you in Manhattan. Come on down." All right,
beautiful.
So if Keegan calls on you to hit a shot, are you ready?
I'll be there for motivational support.
Okay.
I'll be on the side screaming my head off, but I'm all set on swinging the club that week for Ryder Cup.
If you were playing, would you want the crowd to go bananas while you're swinging, or would you want them to be quiet?
Honestly, some
of the guys tell them to make noise.
Yeah, I'm all for firing up the crowd and having a good time out there. Like when I'm playing with my buddies, we're listening to music, having fun.
Yep.
Just so I'm not the one for peace and quiet, but I can't wait to see the atmosphere there.
I feel like it would help with the nerves if you had the
noise going.
Yeah, I think if it's dead quiet, I would be.
I think
shaking.
I would want the noise.
I would want the noise. Yeah, it's way more
Really?
fun.
Especially too. How many times
that opportunity?
Right.
Yeah.
You might never get that opportunity again. So
it's the Ryder Cup. Yeah.
So should Keegan Bradley take himself? He's 10th in the standings. The top 6 automatically qualify, and there's been a lot of talk of whether he should be on the team or not. I'd easily argue, I think, that he's playing as strong as any of the top 12 Americans would be at this moment. But
a month is a long time.
You've got 3 playoff events upcoming, and if you listen to any broadcaster on these broadcasts, they say about how taxing it is to be a captain, and then all the media responsibilities and all the other things that are going on. I don't know. Should he pick him? Should he pick himself?
I
Or
changed
do you
my
think
mind
he'll
on
be-
this. I thought he shouldn't in the beginning, but as well as he's playing, the team needs every good player they have, and somebody else can do some of the interviews and handle who's do. He can handle pairings and stuff at night. It's not. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot to do and a lot of media and stuff, but he's used to that, and it's a one big long week.
I feel like he's a lock at this point. I don't even think it's a question. I think maybe not a more interesting question, but a guy like Chris Gotterup, who's really streaky right now. He's been playing really well overseas. Do you pick him? I mean, the sample size is so small. But he's hot.
That's where I pause. It's a small sample size, yeah. Over some of the other players, and to take a guy without as much international and high end experience and stick him in that cauldron.
Yep.
That's a little different. So I'd always kind of lean to someone who's played in a lot more big events.
The top 6 right now, automatic qualifiers. If it ended today, Scheffler, I think we're all on board with him being on the team.
I don't know, borderline.
Schauffele, Spawn, Henley, Bryson, Harris, English. That would be the 6.
Yep. Pretty good.
Okay. Now 7 is Justin Thomas. Is he on the team, Dylan?
I'm a JT guy, so I love having his firepower out there, but I know he's been a question mark even last year or the last Ryder Cup. I know he got in on a captain's pick. So,
but if he's the first one out, yeah,
I think he's in.
Yeah, he's
especially
in,
too, as we've said, the U.S. team in terms of for whatever value you put in the emotional side of it, the embracing the crowd piece of it,
he brings something to the table
and experience.
Yep.
You've got Spawn, first timer there. Harris and English don't have a ton of international playing experience in these events, so I'd bring him out. Morikawa is an interesting conversation. He's 8th. He's been very, very inconsistent this year. Admittingly so himself has said that. But 2-time major winner.
When are the picks made?
It's right after the playoff.
Right after the playoff. So there's a lot to be decided. Yeah. A lot's going to happen between now.
Based on how they finish the year.
Right, yeah. If all of a sudden you go in the gutter with your game, Morikawa or something, then you're not, it's different. Even though you're 7th or 8th, if you're playing poorly, it's hard to pick you at that point.
Yeah. Ben Griffin is 9, who earlier in the year, who won twice. Now he's cooled. Bradley 10, and now we get into who knows kind of category. 11 is Maverick McNeely. I don't think he's trending to say that you pick him. 12 is Brian Harmon. Had a couple of good weeks, but in overall very inconsistent. I mean, that's why these guys are where they are.
Also not fun to play with.
Waggle.
The Waggles.
Well, yeah, a lot of things. Yeah.
Andrew Novak is 13. Patrick Cantlay, 14. Again,
I'm like anti-Cantlay.
It takes a special guy to play with him. A lot of guys don't like playing with him necessarily. Sam Burns is 15. Wyndham Clark is 16. Cam Young's having a good week. We'll talk to Kevin at Wyndham. He's 19. You mentioned Gotterup. He's 20. Finau said this week when they were asked about him, he said if the decision was this week, he would tell Bradley not to pick him because he's not playing well.
He was putting one-handed a couple weeks ago. So
was he?
Yeah.
Those kind of things don't breed confidence in your captain.
No.
But
McCarthy 24, Batia's playing terribly. He's 25th, and Spieth 27. I don't know how much farther you want to go down the list.
Going back to Morikawa, like you almost have to pick him with that list after. It's just so many question marks.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Morikawa guy, but I mean he'll bring his A game for the Ryder Cup. I feel like,
and guys like the course might dictate. If it's between two guys, because Bethpage is long and brutal. Yeah, it's not it's more of a basher's course. I feel like.
Yeah. All right, Dylan, I know you got to go because you got to get things going here. How about one more time? If people want to get membership information, how do they reach out?
Yeah. So Don Schneider, he's our membership director. Feel free to send him an email, don@pendletoncreek.com. And like I said, we do have a wait list, but next year, it could, after every off season, we lose.
There's turnover at every course.
20 to 30 members is kind of the typical off season. So if you're on the list and you're showing initiative and this is a place you want to be, reach out to Don and get on that list. But yeah, we got the club championship coming up right now, and real excited to see what some of these players can do. We got Ryan Edholm. He's the defending champ, so he's looking to.
Coulthard is going to destroy him.
Ryan, if you're listening, I know he's probably driving it right now.
Right, worried about you.
Yes.
That's what he's been thinking all morning.
Yes.
Off the air, Cozy was saying he's got this.
Like we said, we're setting goals. Brian's goal. He's playing from the tips. We're giving him a challenge of 80 or under. That's Brian's goal
What?
this year.
Oh, make it harder.
80 or under from the tips. It's not gonna be an easy course out there this year. We're putting the players to the test.
Brian's not a short hitter. He can handle the tips.
No, it's not. This is going to sound brag about. It's not the length that screws me up. It's the accuracy. It's hard to play it from the trees out of bounds. You know.
Okay.
Jeff tells me I can't play it when I'm on the other side of those white stakes.
Yeah, I don't. Don't hit it there. That's the answer.
That's the answer. That's right. Well, Dylan, you and Don and everybody here at Pendleton Creek are always very supportive of Tee to Green and growing the game, which is obviously why we're on the air. So I appreciate that.
Hey, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on, gentlemen. Love
today.
chatting golf with you guys, and good luck today, Brian.
Thanks.
Hopefully, 80 or under.
That's
I'll be rooting for you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, head PGA Pro Dylan Hayes with us here on Tee to Green.
You're not going to win with an 80. You gotta go lower, Brian.
All right. Well, we'll discuss maybe how we can get that number down here a little bit.
Just play 15 holes.
Yeah,
You'll be fine.
Good point. Just come in and post right then.
Just post.
That'll put a little score up there for sure. Okay. Yeah, we talked about what's happening at the Wyndham Championship. Kevin Sylvester's there working this week for PGA Tour Radio, so we're going to have him coming up a little bit later in the show. Okay, let's take a break here. When we come back, we'll get Jeff's Western New York PGA tip of the week, and got a little bit more. Couple of more questions for you. Looking forward to it. Hey, if you're live on our stream, we appreciate you being with us. We're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube at T2G Buffalo. Live here at Pendleton Creek Golf Club. Thanks to Dylan Hayes for joining us with Jeff Blank, Jeff Meadis. I'm Brian Koziel. More coming up. Tee to Green right here live on WGR. Yes, sir. Yes, please. Yes, please. That would be great. Thank you. If there isn't, then yes. Okay. Yeah, leave you can put music after it. I'll wait for the other bump to kick in before I start talking. Thank you. 7:30 is the time. We welcome you back here, Tee to Green. We're live at Pendleton Creek Golf Club. Brian Koziel, PGA Pro Jeff Meadus, Jeff Blank. Thanks for being with us. Kevin Sylvester, part of our team, is going to join us at 7:45 live at the Wyndham Championship as we'll do our whip around the Pro Tours. It's a big week on the LPGA side with the Women's British Open, so we'll get updates on what's happening there coming up in just one moment. But it is our Western New York PGA tip of the week time, and it's Club Championship Day here at Pendleton Creek. So, yes, if you're driving in, you can't fluff your lies today.
I hope my dad's listening. Yeah,
He likes to do that.
He likes to. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's Oak Hills fairway on the. Yeah, he'll roll that ball around
Just
a
to
little
make
bit.
sure.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about playing in all sorts of different scenarios with lies here today. We'll assume if you're in the fairway that that feels like a comfortable lie for people. But let's talk about maybe to start with hitting out of the rough. And the ball is sitting down, and that's something obviously where maybe people normally are like, oh, and I fluff it up.
Yeah.
You can't today in the club championship or whatever event you're playing in here. So when the ball's sitting down in the rough a little bit and you can't necessarily maybe see all of it, what are some things to be thinking about here?
So first of all, like learning to read lies is one of the most important skills in golf. So when you look at that grass after you play for a while, you can learn how the ball's gonna kind of react when you have different lies. So a ball sitting down, depending on the rough, if it's sitting down lower than the top blades of grass, typically you just want to move that ball back in your stance and create a little bit steeper angle of attack. Make sure you have some loft to get that ball up and out of the grass. Most people use too little loft in that situation. If you're using your 4-iron out of deep rough, unless you create Rory McIlroy speed, it's not going anywhere. And even Rory is going to go with a lot more loft in a situation like that.
All right. Now, it can sometimes kind of be sitting up on rough, kind of where maybe it's like down grain and the ball's sitting up there and you've got a chance to maybe make really good contact with it.
So yeah, we get a jumper,
Yes,
or a flyer.
yeah.
I like those with on my second shot on par 5 sometimes when it's hard to reach. But if you're in that first cut of rough and it's sitting up and it's a dewy morning like today, and just a little bit of water, a little bit of grass might get between you and the golf ball, that's when that golf ball comes out hot, or people call it flyer. And the way you'll notice it is it won't go as high because it comes out with less spin. So that ball is going to go a lot farther and land without spin. So just be aware of that, especially if you're downwind and you've got one of those lies where it's down grain or you're perched up just a tiny bit in that first cut, or a little bit of moisture on the grass. Those would be the ones that tend to squirt and jump. They also won't curve. So it's hard to, like if you're trying to hit a little fade or a little draw, or you usually do, those golf balls, that shot will not curve as much.
Okay, good stuff there. How about up? But let's talk about up by the green. Some of these other lies right there. If the ball is maybe buried in a thick rough here, but you've only maybe got to hit 10 yards. What are something to think about with that kind of lie?
One of my favorite shots, which seems counterintuitive to people, is to hit it like a bunker shot. So if you take your most lofted club and open it up a little bit, get your kind of in a bunker setup there, like you're going to hit a bunker shot, and intentionally hit behind the golf ball. Hit it a little bit fat. It'll pop out of there. That way, you get some loft on the ball, and you can stop it with descent angle because you won't be able to stop it with spin. So if you go next to your green, your practice green, throw it down in the deep rough. Take a couple swings. You're not trying to actually hit that ball. You're trying to hit a little bit behind the ball, and make sure you use the bounce of the golf club to help it glide through the turf. But you got to have speed. You can't do that shot with a half-hearted effort. You've got to have some zip right underneath the golf ball. The golf ball should pop up like a bunker shot and hopefully land softly.
Okay, you mentioned bunkers. Let's go there next. Sometimes maybe the sand could be wet. Sometimes it could be dry. I know you say maybe that the spin might react a little different on something like that, right?
Yeah. So the firmer, wetter sand, you don't want to have your blade as open on your wedges because that bounce will tend to skip into the golf ball. That's when people blade it. And you also hit a little bit closer to the ball. So you can almost square up your sand wedge depending on how wet the sand is. To me, that's one of the easier shots in bunkers because it's still a margin for error, and it comes out of there with some zip and some spin. Fluffy sand is a lot tougher. That's where you have to have a little shallower, longer stroke into the sand, a lot more speed. Make sure you're keeping that blade open. If you're playing in a tournament today, you're playing your club champ, make sure you go and hit some chips and putts. Everybody just goes to the driving range and maybe they hit some putts. Hit some bunker shots too. If you haven't practiced bunker shots, go out and hit a bunker shot or two. Get a feel for the sand that day. Every day is different in the bunkers, just like it is on the greens and in the fairways. So the bunkers are going to react differently to the weather. So throw the ball, a couple balls down in a bunker, hit a few shots, get a feel for the sand that day, and you'll feel a lot more confident because you've hit some good bunker shots before your round.
All right, good stuff there on lies.
Yeah.
Jeff Blank, were you taking notes?
I have mental notes. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm too cold to take notes. Right
Yeah, I think reading the lie, Jeff Blank, like, I mean, you've been playing in some tournaments this summer, coming up to the ball. Obviously, you can't fluff it when you're playing in these events. Like, what's some of the things you're thinking about when you're going up to the ball there and seeing like what kind of lie you have?
Yeah, specifically around the green. Are the blades of grass going with you towards the ball, or is it against you? Are you going to have to chop and kind of stop? That type of thing when it's against you.
Yeah, it's hard when
It's hard to
against you,
get through the ball. So you
Yep.
got to understand how the club's going to react based on how the ball's sitting and which way the grass is going.
That's why I recommend when people practice short game, people drop the ball in one spot and hit a chip to the same pin, chip to the same pin. Throw golf balls all around the green. Take a half dozen, sprinkle them wherever they land. Play them from that lie and play them to a different pin if you can.
Yep.
Create some variety, create some creativity, create some. You can sit there and work on your motion with a basic chip, but every shot you're going to have is going to be different out there.
As you were going through and talking about these scenarios, that's one thing that I'll even again maybe mentally today, in the rough, when you have a shot there, is to take more loft. I think that's something that I know. Sometimes I'll get greedy out there with thinking about, oh, well, I can still get it to the green with whatever. If it's a bad lie or it's buried a little, like sometimes you have to take more loft, even if it means maybe not reaching ultimately where you think you want to reach.
Yeah, but you want to give yourself the next shot, right?
Yes.
So you want to have access to par after that shot, or birdie if it's a par 5 or whatever.
Right.
So you want to burn it up there as close as you can. If you can't get it on the green, you can still get it up and down. You want to have a chance at par. You don't want to be hitting the same shot 10 feet in front of yourself again with a tree in the way or whatever, and then taking the same club and making the same mistake. So make sure you have plenty of loft. Get the ball out and play first. Anytime you're in trouble, think, safety first, depending on the situation. You're playing 36 holes this weekend, right? So one hole is not going to be the be all or end all of the tournament. So if you're going to, sometimes there's good bogeys and sometimes you hit a bad shot and you just got to take your medicine. I don't like that, but it doesn't mean you can't get up and down from somewhere.
Yeah, the only other thing I guess I look at around the green, and I try to keep it simple. When I'm approaching the ball, wherever the pin's going to be, do I want it off my back foot or do I want it off my front foot? Do I want a little bit more height or do I want it to run out a little bit if the pin's a little bit further? So try to keep it simple back foot, front foot, run it out.
Controlling your trajectory is super
exactly.
important. If you can't control how high you're hitting that golf ball, like around the green, you can't control how far it's going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing on the fairways. If you don't know how high it's going to go, you don't know how far it's going to go. So learning to control your trajectory is a tremendous skill. People talk about Tiger with the 9 shots, remember?
Yep.
So he would hit a low straight, medium straight, high straight, low draw, medium draw, high draw, low fade, medium fade, high fade. And what that also does is keeps your game, your swing neutral. And keeps and then that kind of creativity works around the greens in like forever. That's what the best players do. Why is Phil Mickelson so good around the greens? Because he's creative and he's hitting crazy shots and he can take his 4-iron and do it like Seve. And those are the people that are good at short games. People that just have like a rigid chipping, stabbing motion and they're just trying to get it on the green. Try to think about holing it. If you got a chance, if you got a good liar, if you got 10, 15 feet, read it like a putt. I'm going to try to land it on this line, visualize a good shot. It's going to roll out. It's going to drop in the front lip, and I'm going to make 3 instead of 4. So that's if you're trying to hole it, aim small, miss small, right?
Beautiful. No, I think that's really, really good advice. Again, you can give Jeff's advice by going to see him at Golf Dojo. You can get lessons there.
Oh, yeah.
mygolfdojo.com. You can book a lesson with Jeff today.
That's right. It's fun to do, too. I enjoy it. Plus, we have all the tools there to make you get better.
Yeah. No, I think coming in to see you and do it, it doesn't have to be something twice a week, but it's something that maybe you should do regularly just to make sure that, as you said, sometimes you tighten things up, make sure everything is, where it needs to be.
Yeah. And we have a TrackMan in there and it's a really great environment for teaching. But what you see with a lot of people is like, especially if you see them occasionally, like I had a client last night or a customer or guy I coached last night, and little things creep in, like your stance will get a little bit open or your stance will get a little bit closed or the ball ends up creeping back in your stance, and then that affects everything else in the sequencing of your golf swing. And golf's, it's a simple mechanical motion and concept, and people complicate it, and if you walk away with 32 thoughts, then you did not get taught correctly. Yeah. So simplify the game and understand why how you're making mistakes and how to get better. That's why we use drills. So any sport, you do drills.
Yeah. All right. You can get lessons from Jeff again, mygolfdojo.com. You can go see him at the Niagara Falls Boulevard location or the Transit Road location and go get some good advice here from Jeff in person with your own swing.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, we make it fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
And of course, our tip of the week brought to you by the Western PGA, which has one goal: growing the game today, tomorrow, and beyond. And you can find your local PGA Pro. Go to wnypga.com, type in your zip code, and it'll take you to the nearest PGA Pro, Jeff.
Yeah, look for that PGA logo, though, because that means at least you've committed to trying to be a professional about teaching and playing in the game. If you're just hanging a shingle and teaching somewhere and just telling people I was a really good player, I'll show you how to play this game, then you're probably not actually a really good teacher.
Okay, good advice.
That's my opinion.
Yes. All right, time out. When we come back here from Pendleton Creek Golf Club, we will head down to Greensboro and the Wyndham Championship. It's the final week of the regular season on the PGA Tour. Kevin Sylvester is going to join us live here as he's working hard this week for PGA Tour Radio. We'll get Kevin's take on the race to make the top 70. The playoffs start next week. Time out here from Pendleton Creek with Jeff Blank, Jeff Meadis. I'm Brian Koziel. More coming up. Tee to Green live at Pendleton Creek on WGR. Ryan.
PGA Tour, seniors,
You want to do the
women's?
ladies? You got the ladies, you got the seniors. Dan, can you come back with the PGA Tour leaderboard liner, please? Thank you, sir. Dan, your last name's Dale, right? Okay. Just wanted to say it at the end. Yes. Great. Welcome back to Pendleton Creek Golf Club here, our first show of August. We're live on WGR and, of course, streaming live on X, Instagram, and YouTube at T2G Buffalo. The Wyndham Championship, they had a little weather issue at the end of round 2. We're going to talk about it with Kevin Sylvester here in just one moment. But Cameron Young is your leader, playing very well. He's got a 3-shot lead over a host of golfers. He's at 15 under par starting the day. And it's the final week of the regular season. We'll get more details coming up with Kevin here in just one moment.
And the Champions Tour Report is brought to you by Donald Ross Sportswear, your hometown premium golf apparel company. Find us in your local pro shop or online at donaldross.com. Last week was the Senior Open at the Sunningdale Old Course, and it was won by Padraig Harrington. He beat Justin Leonard and Thomas Bjorn by 3 shots.
All right, LPGA leaderboard brought to you by Puma Golf Shoes, and we went from the seniors to the women's AIG Women's Open taking place at Porthcawl in Wales, overseas here. So we got 2 Japanese players at the top of the leaderboard. Miyu Yamashito at -11 and Ryo Takada at -8. We got 4 players tied for third at -4. And then keeping an eye on Lottie Wode and Nelly Korda. They're tied for 10th at -2.
Yep, 2 rounds to go. Yeah, that's a big one for him.
Yeah, Lottie Wode actually getting even maybe a little bit more pub than Nelly Korda did this week. She had a lot of talk coming in. So
yeah, you go out and win your first event as a professional. That'll happen.
A lot of attention for sure. Okay, back to the Wyndham Championship. Let's bring in Kevin Sylvester now. Kevin, good morning.
Morning, guys.
Kevin working for PGA Tour Radio. And Kevin, I know you were out on the course yesterday. I was listening a lot. I had a longer car ride, so I was listening to you yesterday. I know you were with Cameron Young, right? During at least you were with for most of the day. Tell us how he's been able to get out in front of everybody so far.
Well, it's interesting. I talked to him after his first round for an interview, and I caught like the final couple holes because he was out early in the morning, and he said he just kind of simplified things and just kind of clearer thinking. And then yesterday, I got a chance to speak to his father, Dave Young, a PGA professional, was a Sleepy Hollow golf club. Which, by the way, if you have never seen the logo for Sleepy Hollow, it's awesome. It's the Headless Horseman. And his dad was actually wearing it. I go, by the way, one of the great logos. He's like, yeah, that's why I'm retired. I sold a ton of this stuff. But anyway,
nice.
I asked him, I go, what's your opinion on why your son's playing so well? What's turned around for him? And he said, he's just gone back to what he did his rookie year, just playing his draw, his right to left shot, and not trying to play shots that aren't up to his skill set, meaning not trying, I'm going to cut the ball in here. I'm not going to try to draw the ball. He's just playing his shot no matter where he is on the golf course.
Yeah.
And that's working out for him.
Yeah, it leads to confidence, doesn't it? You're confident over every shot. Yeah.
Yeah, and he always struggled, I thought, with his putting, but he was hitting it tight. I mean, number 14 yesterday, we knew the weather was coming in. It's the hardest hole in the golf course. Well, he banged a draw down there to 160, stuffed it to 4 feet. Birdie's the hardest hole. He reaches 15 into 2 putts for a birdie. He got the tee shot off before they blew the horn and stuffed it about 5 feet on 16. And he just tapped in that birdie this morning to get to 15 under par. So, now the question is, because he's going to finish up here shortly with his second round, does that translate to the weekend play to rounds 3 and 4? 8-time runner-up on the PGA Tour. But you got to feel he's comfortable here. Went to college at Wake Forest, which isn't too far away. So comfortable on the surfaces. He's played here, I'm sure, a ton of times while he was in college.
And Kev, there's got to be some other stories there because this is the last week of the quote unquote regular season. What's going on at the back end of the people trying to qualify for the Tour Championship?
Well, one of the great stories. Well, they qualify for the playoffs, which starts next week, right? Yeah, the top 70 make the playoffs. There's guys like Joel Damon who went out and shot 61 in the first round. Like he has to win to get in. Mark Hubbard, who's a 12 under par, he has to finish in a tie for second or better to make the playoffs. Right now, only 3 players project in, and in one of those, which is a great story, is Gary Woodland. He projects into 67th in the playoff race. Ricky Fowler is probably going to miss the cut as it went to 4. I think that's going to hold. He would finish 3 under, but he was in at 63, but some players came here, trying to improve their position to get inside that top 50. That's what it's all about. You get the signature events. Hideki Matsuyama, Robert McIntyre came here with a chance to get inside the top 10 in FedEx Cup standings, get paid out bonus money. Like Scotty Scheffler, I think, is making $10 million this week. It's $8 or $10 million, and he's not even playing because of the bonus money for the seasonal race for the FedEx Cup. Yeah, but if you get inside the top, like 10th spot, pays out $2 million. So Matsuyama was 20. He needs to win, and I think he's also trying to get into form. He'll just make the cut, and McIntyre also the same. Just will make the cut, but McIntyre is 15th, so he's got a shot to move up inside that top 10 with a big weekend.
Yeah, we were talking about the Ryder Cup kind of standings and where everything sits, and Cameron Young leading this tournament. How surprising is it that he has yet to win a tournament on the PGA Tour, yet he's still in the kind of the running for the Ryder Cup? I mean, what's been the troublesome area for Cameron Young, trying to get over the finish line?
Well, to me, it's been the putter and attitude. He just didn't seem to get over things. This is from what I witnessed in person through the years.
Yeah.
Just didn't seem to get over bad breaks and stuff, if you will. And a big part of that's coming with maturity. And he's certainly got the talent. I mean, he hits the ball a long ways, but, he's gone through different putters, different kind of grips. And I think he's just gone back to the basics here. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I mean, you see his play this week and his firepower. Certainly Keegan Bradley's paying attention. Has to be. When it comes to putting together that Ryder Cup team. So, yeah, I think Cameron Young is certainly in consideration. No question about it.
Kevin Sylvester, part of our Tee to Green team. You can hear him this weekend on PGA Tour Radio on Sirius XM, as he'll be out covering round 3 and 4 of this tournament. Again, the regular season ends this week. The top 70 will move on, and then it goes to 50 and then to 30. And Kevin, this year they made the change that in that Tour Championship, right? They're not going to have the staggered scoring anymore. It's going to go back to just kind of winner take all. And they all start at the right at even par to start the tournament.
Yeah, a couple of changes, right? So I think that's welcomed, right? Because there's been, even though you started even par, if you were, say, 30th, right?
Yeah.
25 to 30 or even par, and, the leader's at 10 under, like you've got to make that up over 4 rounds. Very difficult to do. And there's so many players to pass, right? So I do like it that if you make the Tour Championship, you got a chance to win it all, right? That's what it's all about. It's what the playoffs are about,
right?
And you don't make the AFC Championship, but you're not the number 1 seed, and so you're down a field goal starting the game. So I think that was input from the players. But what they've also done is they've increased. There's going to be payouts based upon standings going into those things. So the prize. So I don't know what the exact figures are, but it's not going to be 20 or 25 million to win the FedEx Cup if you win the Tour Championship. I think it's down to 15, and they're going to spread that money out over the first 3 playoff events.
Yeah, I like that. And then news for next week's first playoff event in Memphis. Rory McIlroy, Kevin, is not going to play. He's deciding to skipping that first playoff event. What's been kind of the media buzz about him skipping that first one?
Well, I think it's certainly news. When Rory McIlroy is not going to play in a playoff event where, okay, there's a check you're going to miss out on, but I mean, he'll be okay.
Yeah,
and he's into the Tour Championship, so I think he's treating the Tour Championship like a major. Where, all right, I'm going to get some rest. Maybe I'll play the week before, and then get into it there. So, and probably projected the forecast. I mean, Memphis is always.
I was going to say it's going to be 2 billion degrees. I don't blame him.
Let me tell you. It was that way Thursday here. I was like, oh my God, give me the cooling towel. Let's go. And, and I'm not walking up hills with a golf bag on my back like some of the caddies are doing there. So, I guess I understand it's disappointing, certainly, but, he has his reasons and, maybe some different preparations. He's building a house overseas and such. So, I think Rory reevaluated things after he won the Masters and went a little swoon there. So I think he's taking this approach because, he's won the most FedEx Cups and he wants to get another one.
Yep. All right, let's finish with something I'll call a little bit more lighthearted, but I wanted to keep Kevin on because I know for him this is serious business here. I sent you guys this
I
week
saw
here.
this, yes,
So
yes.
a tweet this week about somebody playing in an event here. So this is the info here. So a gentleman by the name of Keith Heenan, who plays at a 20.4 handicap, had a quote an amazing weekend at an event. Keith ended up winning net at his division at the Moon Golf Club's major event in Pennsylvania. We're talking about the club championship here at Pendleton Creek today. So their big event of the year, the Moon Club major event in Pennsylvania, not too far from here. He had
now. This is Brian.
Yes.
This is our legal department wants to say this. This is based upon a social media post, right? So
Correct.
we have not verified this, but
That's correct.
It's a fun story.
But
fictional, but a fun story.
The scores are posted, and it looks like Golf Genius is some of the picks. So it looks pretty legit here. Anyway,
there is a website that tracks these things.
Yes,
right?
yes. So he had no scores posted under 97 in his entire. You can look up the feed of all the statistics, but he ended up shooting in this 3-round event 88, 80, and 82, and he won by 13 shots.
Yeah.
You didn't hear the follow up to this?
So what was the follow up?
He went to see Jeff Meadis for a lesson.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, for an experienced veteran of tournament play that you are here, what would be your reaction to this?
Oh, you take it in stride, Kevin.
Kevin, remember we're live on the radio here.
Yeah, no. I am known to congratulate a competitor in a member guest who went out and shot a 78 as a 18 handicap against me and a partner. And we got done. I immediately said, "Hey, congratulations on your career day." And he says, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Well, I mean, the odds of you shooting this round are like 1 in 1,500. There's a website for this, so I assume it's a career day." And he said, "What are you saying?" I said, "I'm saying exactly what you think I'm saying." Career round.
I got in trouble as a head professional multiple times when someone came in with like a net 58, and I'm like, "Wow!"
Yeah,
they didn't see the humor in it. But yeah, I always pointed that out.
There are. Now, I do believe this. I do believe in those tournaments, like you concentrate more, you may not take as much risk. I do think there's a different way to play those things, but not by 13-shot victory. Come on.
The data would belie some of that. Yes, that the USGA keeps.
So if you're yes,
they belied it right there. He never posted anything below 97. I'm like, come on.
That's right. Anyway, if you're a 20 handicap and you've never posted anything 97. Don't play a tournament and come in with an 80 because you might get questioned. That's the lesson right there.
Yeah, you don't need to win by 13.
Right.
You might get more than questioned.
Yeah, you might get more than just questioned. You're right.
Yeah, it might be hard to get out of the parking lot.
Listen, the 88 is believable. It's the following up with the 80-82 that is not.
Yes. All right.
Well,
Kevin, we had to get you in a good mood here before you go do your work today. So appreciate you joining us. We'll listen to you on PGA Tour Radio. Thanks, Kev.
All right, guys. Looking forward to a good day.
All right. Live here from Pendleton Creek Golf Club. Club championship just about to get started here, so we're looking forward to that. Enjoy your weekend. It's going to be maybe the most perfect weather for golf this weekend.
Yeah, well, you play well today, Brian.
Thank
Positive you. Thoughts. Work on your routine and just go out there and hit the best shot every time.
I'm going to have you in my head right before I stand over the ball. Confident swing. Confident swing.
Cocky swing.
That's right. Okay. Watch this, as you said.
Yes. Yeah.
Watch this. Want to Jeff Blank? Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, you played in the West New York Open, by the way.
Oh, it was fantastic.
That was a good experience for you, right?
Quite warm, but yeah, it was great. They did Western New York PGA did a great job setting it up.
That was at Glen Oak. Awesome. Hey, next week we'll be a little south. We'll be down at Tri-County Country Club.
Yep, my old stomping grounds. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So Dan and the crew will be ready to talk to you. I want to thank everybody here at Pendleton Creek Golf Club. Dylan Hayes, the PGA Pro, for joining us. Don Schneider, the membership director. If you want to send him an email, don@pendletoncreek.com to get membership information. Thanks to producer Dan Dale back in our Amherst studios. And for Kevin Sylvester, Jeff Blank, Jeff Meadis, I'm Brian Colzio. Thanks for listening here. Tee to Green every Saturday morning at 7 o'clock right here on WGR. Thanks, Dan. Have a good weekend. Appreciate it. Good job. All right. Bye-bye.